Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. Now for the most part, playing Age of Empires 2 is a blast. The game is great and it flows really well. However, there's a few things in the game that just make me wonder, how is this even possible? Why is this here? And in this video, we're going to talk about those things. And yeah, basically the top 5 dumbest things in Age of Empires 2 will be the topic of today's video. Before we hop in though, I'm just going to do a quick shout out to my gameplay channel. If you guys want to see high level pro 1v1s every single day, check out my secondary channel, Hera gameplay on YouTube, link in the description below. Anyways, let's hop into the video. Alright guys, starting off at number 5, we've got monks switching conversion from building to units. Now this is a mechanic that's been in the game for a long time, but it's recently been abused like no other. Basically the concept of a monk is that, if you convert a unit and then you switch targets from like one scout at the front to the militia at the back, you keep that conversion charge that you had on the scout, so that when you start converting the militia at the back, you already have that couple seconds of conversion time, and then you can easily convert the militia. However, it's not that instant because you didn't convert the scout for that long in theory, and you just switch to militia. That's totally fine. That's how it works. However, when you get the redemption technology and you start converting buildings, the whole balance kind of shifts, because when you convert a building, buildings naturally take longer, so you're charging up your conversion for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then if you switch that conversion after 10 seconds of charging it on a building to a unit, you will instantly convert that unit because the game will transfer that 10-second charge onto a unit. And for units, I think the maximum conversion time is like 10 or 11 seconds. And so you already have the maximum conversion time when you switch from that building to the unit, and so instantly 10 out of 10 times you're going to convert that unit. This is what makes redemption so broken at higher levels, and I actually encourage people, if this is still in the game, to make use of it. If you've got some monks, pick up redemption, go convert your opponent's buildings. If he tries to react, convert him with the monks. All you have to do is switch the target from the building onto any unit you want to instantly convert, and you'll profit. Really dumb mechanic in the game though, and yeah, that's gonna be number 5. Moving on to number 4 here, we've got a technology that was controversial since the day it came out, and I'm pretty sure every single one of the top players wanted it out. However, I will admit a lot of players do enjoy playing with this technology, and I'm sure you guessed it by now, but if you haven't, it is of course the Flemish Revolution. This technology is just so crazy. I mean, it's not even that it's like overpowered, which I think it kind of is, but it's not even that it's overpowered, it's just that it completely changes the dynamic of the game in a split second. And a lot of people might actually like that, but for me personally, I just feel like the game is so fluid. Every civilization kind of works in a similar fashion, but there's some different bonuses you want to play towards, and then this one technology just kind of shifts that entire smoothness, that entire like everything you understand about the game just out the window. All your villas become military. You take your 10 trebs, you take all your Flemish militia, you attack your opponent, and he might have been on halberdier preparing for your cavalry, and then you surprise him with 200 champion-esque units and some siege behind. It's yeah, it's kind of a crazy technology, and I personally think it's pretty dumb at times, especially when I lose to it. Alright, moving on to number 3, we've got something that really irks me, and I don't think, like with the Flemish Revolution, some people might enjoy it, but I don't think there's a single person that has this happen to them and enjoys it. And this is the kind of glitch, I'm not even sure, it's been in the game for a long time now, the hitting through walls. There's been so many times where I'm just walling in a villager at a woodline, and then the enemy scouts with some militia are hitting through that wall and killing my villagers. This usually happens when I quick wall a villager in, so like if I have a low HP vill, I'm gonna quick wall him, enemy scouts chasing me, I manage to get the quick wall, and then the scout gets the last hit from outside my walls. It's so infuriating. I've lost tons of villagers like this, and actually lost games like this as well, and I'm sure a lot of other players can relate. Let me know in the comments if this has happened to you though, getting hit through a wall. It's the most frustrating thing, and for me, one of the dumbest things in Age of Empires 2 right now. Alright, moving on to number 2. This one's a little bit more of a lighthearted one, but this is just so funny to look at. It's the Mongol siege tower fully garrisoned. This is the most awkward looking unit in the game because it moves so fast. You have to get the unique tech and Imperial Age, of course. It moves so fast, and it's not a unit that you'd expect to move that fast. So it's just really fun to look at. And if you want to get really creative with it, you go Mongol siege tower, you get a Teuton ally, and you have the fastest moving Teutonic knights on the planet. Kind of a little fun one at number 2 here. It's still really dumb because it's just dumb to look at. It's just not a unit that should move that fast, but it does. And yeah, that's gonna be number 2. Alright, before I talk about number 1 though, I have one honorable mention to talk about. I put this at honorable mention because it's not technically part of the actual gameplay for Age of Empires 2, but it's still really dumb, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. And this is the mods getting turned off after every patch. This is one of the most frustrating things ever. Not even because it's a lot of work to turn on your mods. It only takes like 30 seconds to a minute. But when you get a new patch, you're excited. You read the patch notes, you see like the balance changes. You're excited to jump in and play some games, and then randomly you jump into a game, you realize you got big trees, you got no grid, grid, you've got no mods, and well, the game is an absolute disaster now because it's incredibly hard to play without mods, especially when you're used to playing with mods for a ton of time. This is a really frustrating thing and definitely one of the dumbest things in the game, and this one is really easy to fix, presumably, so I hope that this gets fixed eventually, just to, you know, keep us stress-free after every patch. Alright, moving on to number 1. This is by far the dumbest thing in the game, in my opinion, and I have to give a big shout out to Tato for actually bringing this to light. In theory, we should have all known about it, but it's such an obscure thing that it's not something that immediately comes to mind. So again, big shout out to Tato. He brought it to light on Twitter, and it's the fact that Bengalis can get 1,000+ villagers in a standard game of random map. And how they do that is basically abusing the fact that they get +2 villagers per age up. However, it's not +2 villas actually, it's +2 villagers per town center. Now, this doesn't matter from Dark Age to Feudal Age or from Feudal Age to Castle Age because you have only one town center. But in Castle Age, if you make 100 town centers and you age up to Imperial Age, you get 2 villas from each town center. That's 200. Well, what if you make 500 town centers and then you get an extra 2 villas from all of those town centers? Well, that's another 1,000 villagers, and that is such a crazy thing that Bengalis can get to 1,200 villagers and maybe even more. Who knows what the limit on this is, really. Depends on how many town centers you can fit on a game. So you can get up to like 1,200, 1,500, who knows how many villas you can get up to, and then all you have to do after that is just sling one of your allies. You just sling one of your allies, you have 1,200 villas, that's 6 players worth of economy, pure economy by the way, and then you can just sling all of your allies and make sure they have unlimited food and wood to operate. Such a crazy thing. And listen, I'm not the kind of guy who can manage a 1,000 villa economy, but if there's someone out there, Bengalis is the civ for you. Alright, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help the algorithm, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace, stay safe.